I don't blame you. I would have asked city staff to check their microphones, but they put these new equipment in. I'm sure they know how to work them, don't you? Call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Buckner?
Here.
Reverend Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Hood?
Here.
Mayor Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mayo? Vice Mayor Miller?
Here.
Mr. Saunders?
Here.
Mr. Vogler?
Here.
Mr. Whittle?
As you all have heard, we had a lineman who was out helping with utilities, and he was hurt today, and Councilman Saunders is going to lead us in prayer. We're thinking about him and his family. We ask everyone to please stand for the invocation by Councilman Sherman Saunders, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Father, we come tonight to say thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you will forgive us for the things we may have done that were not in your will. To you, God, we apologize. We ask for your guidance as we try to serve the citizens of this wonderful city. We pray for the city employee who was injured today while trying to help and serve your children. The sacrifice and risk he took for our entire communities, families, and businesses. We ask that you will heal him, be with his family, co-workers, and all who benefited from his sacrifice. Please guide our children, parents, school leaders, government, and all charged with making decisions that impact our daily living. Again, Father, please continue to bless our city employees, law enforcement personnel, fire department, public safety workers, neighbors, and all who place themselves at risk and do your will every single day. Yes, Lord, please bless your children everywhere. Again, we say thank you. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to again say good evening to everyone. Those of you who are here, welcome. Those of you who are watching, welcome. We'll now have our communications from our visitors. Citizens who desire to speak on items not listed on the agenda may come forward at this time. If you would like to speak on any item that's not listed on the agenda, please come forward at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, and good evening to you all, and welcome to council. Please come forward and speak directly into that microphone, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Emma Byrne, and I serve as Regional Director for the Literacy Lab. My address is 4714 Luray Avenue, Richmond, Virginia.
My name is Elisha Lanier. I work for the Literacy Lab, and my address is 10715 Franklin Turnpike, Dryport, Virginia, 24549.
Thank you. And you can adjust that mic. It'll go where you want it to go.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Emma Byrne. I serve as Regional Director for the Literacy Lab, and we are a nonprofit working to close the literacy achievement gap, and wanted to come and share a little bit about our program. We are here to talk about how thrilled we are to have launched a new partnership with Danville Public Schools this year and to have placed 8 full-time tutors in 4 of our elementary schools here in Danville. Tonight, I'm also joined by Elisha Lanier, who is one of our all-star tutors serving in Danville. And we thank you for the opportunity to share this evening. A little background. So since our founding in 2009, the Literacy Lab has been laser focused on ensuring that every student have the opportunity to read on grade level by third. And we know that in our highest need schools, often the number of students who are requiring individualized one-on-one support often outpaces the resources that are available to meet those needs. So our approach is to add that critical capacity to schools. The Literacy Lab places full-time tutors who are trained to implement the Reading Corps program, an intervention model that provides daily one-on-one individualized literacy support to students from age 3 to grade 3. The Literacy Lab began serving high-need schools across Virginia since we launched our programming in 2016, and since then we've grown to partner with schools in 6 divisions. Last year, we placed 78 tutors in 35 partner schools across the Commonwealth, and despite the challenges associated with COVID-19, our tutors served 1,100 students over the school year. Our results have proven that our tutors are making an impact. During the 18-19 school year, which is the last year before COVID struck, our students receiving intervention achieved the following results. 64% exceeded the target growth rate, meaning that they were making more than 1 year of growth in 1 year of school. Kindergarten students we served were 11 times more likely to exceed that target growth rate, and on average, the students that we served grew 33% faster than their peers with similar starting scores who were not assigned to a tutor. Our students achieve these results in part because our model includes a robust training and support structure for tutors, which ensures that each of them is set up for success. Before any work with students, tutors must complete 40 hours of training and must prove they can conduct assessments and interventions with fidelity. Throughout the year, tutors are supported by Literacy Lab staff and school staff who oversee the program at each school, including looking at data to ensure that we're selecting the right kids for intervention. The end result is that our program is implemented in school according to research-based best practice and integrated with each school's particular literacy strategy. Of course, a question right now is probably, great, all of this is wonderful, but how does this working with COVID? And we're happy to report that as Danville Public Schools is serving students in person, the Literacy Lab is set up to do the same. We have had our tutors serving in person since October of last year. We've made some modifications to our typical tutoring structure to ensure that we can deliver interventions as safely as possible, and we're complying with each school's COVID policies. We are extremely proud of the work that our tutors do every day and would love for all of you to see the program firsthand. We understand that visits are probably complicated right now, but want to extend an open invitation to come and see the program in person when public health conditions allow. To that end, I'd also like to introduce Alicia Lanier again, who wants to share a bit more about her experience this year.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alicia Lanier. I am serving as an AmeriCorps member and full-time tutor with the Literacy Lab at E.A. Gibson Elementary. I was born in Richmond, Virginia, and moved with my family to Danville when I was 6 years old. After graduating from Danville Community College and starting to work my first job, I thought I was going into fashion merchandising. Suddenly, my life took a turn after a family member had a loss of work. That prompted me to make a life-changing decision and look for different opportunities. After accepting this job with the Literacy Lab, I was greeted by the best community I could ever imagine. Not only were they inclusive, but they provided me with multiple training sessions, which helped me feel more prepared for my service in school and ready to work with my students. When I started my service, the staff at E.A. Gibson Elementary and the Danville community greeted me with a warm heart and a place in the community too. Soon enough, I started my virtual interventions with Manny, a third grade student. Manny wasn't too excited about meeting with me. He told me he didn't know how to read. Slowly as the days went on and we met consistently every day, he warmed up to me. I made sure to ask questions at the beginning of every session to get to know him better. As a result, he showed me his Star Wars books and told me how much he loved sharks. As we worked on the duet reading and blending words intervention, he was starting to enjoy reading. One day near Christmas, I was working with him and we were reading about root beer floats. He was unfamiliar with floats, but he said Mr. Pibb was his favorite soda. While we were working together, we reached the middle of the story and it was time for him to read by himself. He didn't make a single mistake. In that moment, I saw his confidence grow from 0 to 100, but that wasn't the best part. After I had praised and celebrated him, I saw his mother come running into his room and give him the biggest hug and kiss I had ever seen. As parents, grandparents, uncles, and aunts, we want to see our students reach their highest potential. Manny was beaming from ear to ear with joy because he accomplished something that he thought he never could do. My experience tutoring Manny made me realize that the Literacy Labs program isn't just a literacy intervention for the kids we serve. It's an opportunity for our students to build their self-confidence and self-esteem. It's giving them a mentor and helping them to see themselves as strong readers and see who they can be as a whole. Our responsibility to our children is not to only offer them all the tools and resources they need, but also all the love and support they need to take on the world. My experience with the Literacy Lab has given me the opportunity to do both. In the same way that this isn't just a reading practice program for kids, this isn't just a temporary job for me. This experience has shown me that this is a lifetime career. I am committed to helping students reach this lifelong achievement. Thank you.
Appreciate, again, the opportunity. Are there any questions for us?
Any questions? First of all, we want to thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for what you do. And I was thinking about Manny. I wish Manny would have been here tonight. Any questions for anyone? Great job. Any questions? Again, thank you all so much for what you do. Thank you so much. We're still in communications. Any citizens who desire to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward at this time. Council, on the meeting minutes, what's your pleasure? Councilman Vogler?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
Second by Councilman Campbell. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Aye.
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 Under new business item A, review of general fund financials for January 31st. Michael, good evening to you.
Council. In your agenda packet tonight, you should have the financial statements for the general fund through January 31st. That is the completion of the 7th month of our fiscal year, or 58% complete. I just have a few brief comments. Total revenues for this point in the year are $57.6 million. That's about 52% of our budget. That is a decrease of about $716,000 from last year. Roughly $400,000 of that decrease, as I've mentioned in previous months, was related to interest rates. Interest rates are much lower now than they were at the first half of last fiscal year. We did budget for a decrease in interest rates, but perhaps not to this magnitude. Another $300,000 decrease is found in our charges for services. Some of that is in Parks and Rec. As you can imagine, they have not been able to offer the services and programs as they usually do. So those revenues from those programs is not there, but neither is the cost. The same is also true for adult detention. The census there has been 50% or less of normal. So that has provided some cost savings as well to offset any revenue loss that we have at adult detention. With regard to property taxes, our real estate collections are at 52% of budget, so we like to be at least at halfway before the spring collection, so we're on track there. Our delinquent real estate collections is exceeding budget. At the end of January, we were at 64% complete. We had a very successful auction of delinquent parcels back in November. We're planning another one for very late in the winter, first of spring, so hopefully that'll keep that collection rate up. Personal property taxes are just under 50%, which is where we typically find ourselves. The state portion of personal property tax is not received evenly. More of that is received in the spring than the fall, so that'll catch itself up as we move through the fiscal year. On local taxes, our sales tax continues to set records for us. We have $5.7 million collected at the end of January. That's 62% of our budget. This is about $630,000 more than last year at this time. For some even more current information, we get our monthly installments on the 16th of each month. So today, we received our sales tax collection related to December retail sales, which is usually our highest month with holiday purchases going on. The amount we received today was $1,070,000. That is a new record for 1 month of sales tax collection. We have not exceeded $1 million before. And again, this is primarily due, I think, to the stricter enforcement of sales tax on online sales. Our meals tax and hotel tax still are sluggish, as you can expect, resulting from the pandemic. Meals tax is $4.8 million. That's 55.5% of budget, so slightly behind budget, but only $157,000 less than last year at this time. Hotel motel is also at 54% of budget, or $860,000. And again, this decrease is only $80,000 from last year. So as you can see, our sales tax revenue is going to more than make up for any deficiencies we have in the other local taxes, and perhaps any deficiencies that we find throughout the other revenues. Our state revenues are on track. There are some timing differences as occur from month to month. Sometimes our monthly installments are received at the end of the month, sometimes the first week of the following month, so no concerns on state revenues. On the expenditure side, our departmental expenditures are at 54% of budget, so trailing behind budget, which is typically what we see. Non-departmental, that's typically made up of the two major factors of that is debt service and our group health insurance. And the debt service we pretty much know as we go into a fiscal year, so that's budgeted right on track. Our health insurance is right on track as well. But if you're looking at your financials, you'll see an increase compared to last year. And I'll just remind you that last year our group health insurance premiums, or rather our claims, were much lower than expected. So we underperformed our group health insurance budget last year. So while it looks like a large increase, it's still on track with our budgeted expectations. So in total, the general fund's doing just consistent with last year. I have no concerns at this point. I'll pause. I do have another item to bring to your attention, but I'll pause for any questions on the general fund financials.
Questions? Any questions? I think you made our day when you talked about that money coming in today, over $1 million. So continue on, please.
All right. The other subject I wanted to bring up is a follow-up from a discussion we had at the retreat on Saturday, February the 6th. If you recall, Davenport, our financial advisor, who's been providing services to the city for at least the past 15 years, suggested a financing strategy that maybe we should consider, and I'm in favor of it, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention again. In addition to refinancing the IDA debt related to the school field property that was sold, we talked about issuing a BAN. BAN stands for Bond Anticipation Note. So basically the way a BAN works is we take on a borrowing and we say within the next 5 years, we're either going to pay it off, or at the end of that 5 years, or at least by the end of that 5 years, we're going to convert that into a traditional bond and stretch it out over 20 years at that point. Some advantages to doing this. Interest rates are at an all-time low right now, so if we take on a borrowing now, we're fixing it at a low interest rate. It also, if we do this year, it will avoid us from having to budget, hopefully, from fund balance for the next 2 years. As you know, typically we will budget economic development initiatives, those one-time expenditures from our fund balance, typically each year. If we take on this BAN financing, we can get the funds in hand to do that over the next 2 years and not have to budget from fund balance. So that would be the anticipation. And of course, in order to pay off the BAN, my recommended preferred way would be to use future casino revenues that we're anticipating in the next 3 to 4 years. So that would come in time to pay that off. A second option would just be to use fund balance when it comes due at the end of 5 years, which is what we would have probably budgeted anyway along the way. And the third option is to convert it into long-term bonds. So I bring this to your attention just to make you aware again. I would like to go ahead and issue an RFP to get bank quotes, just so we have those in place and know what we're dealing with, should we go ahead and pursue this. But it would require council to pass a resolution at one of the next meetings coming up. If we do this, I would like to get it done before the end of the fiscal year, so we do have a little bit of time, but I just want to make you aware. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Ken, is that something you're going to be bringing forward to us?
Yes, and I also recommend it. It will be part of the strategy and recommending a budget to you in the middle of March. So having the timing of this done around March or early April at the latest would be helpful to us as we plan for our budget going forward, just so that you know and the public knows the next 2 years are going to be interesting, and then the third year budget, it will be the first year per the development agreement with Caesars that the city expects to get at least a portion of the gaming tax revenue it expects. And by the development agreement, they are supposed to be up and running by the end of December of that year, which means there'll be a full half year of casino gaming revenue in place by that fiscal year. So we feel very good about that new revenue source and being able to pick up some of those costs. But because there's a 2-year gap of budgets between now and then, you know, what our approach has been is let's look at the budget in a 2-year cycle and see if we can accomplish what we want to accomplish during that 2-year period of time without adjusting any rates. We do not want to adjust any rates. We're going to actually lower some rates in the utility fund, but we don't want to raise any rates. So the goal is to not raise any rates, to use this financing mechanism to bridge the gap between now and FY '24, and then be able to go from there in the investments that we want to make in our community.
It's good. Questions from council? Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing that from the retreat because we talked in regards to the casino and what the casino revenue is going to be bringing forth. So I like your forward thinking in regards to that.
I'd like to also add that in working with Davenport and talking about future revenues, they did assume the minimum amount of future revenues from the agreement with Caesars. So we're not thinking way out of the box. We're keeping things very conservative with this.
Keep up the good work. We appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for bringing it before council. One of the things I appreciate, Ken, is the fact that the public gets the opportunity to hear the financial reports, and so that means a lot to us. And Michael, thank you so much for bringing that forward, because if the public has any questions, they can reach out to us before March. Ken, go ahead.
I'm glad Michael brought this up. Yes, as you recall from the retreat, our financial advisors did not anticipate the full amount that we expect to get from casino gaming. They anticipated the minimum amount that we expect to get per the performance agreement that required a minimum payment. So we feel very confident that we're being conservative with our approach, and I thought it'd be important to point that out. In addition, our financial advisors say that by not budgeting fund balance, it actually is helpful to our bond rating. When we go and ask for a new bond rating, we can potentially move up in the rating scale, which would result in lower interest being charged for any future borrowing. So we're on the path for a much better financial future, thanks to Michael and our financial advisors.
Great job. Thank you so much. Under new business, item B, consideration of adopting resolutions to set the salaries of Danville City Council employees. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Danville, Virginia, setting the salary of the city manager.
A second. Second by Councilman Buckner. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Reverend Campbell. Aye. Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo. Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Under item 2, Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we pass a resolution of the City Council of the City of Danville, Virginia, setting the salary of the city attorney.
Second.
Second by Councilman Vogler. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo. Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Dr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose a resolution of the City Council of the City of Danville, Virginia, setting the salary of the city clerk.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Saunders. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo. Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell. Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Under Communications, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate Councilman Saunders offering a prayer for our employee. It is, as everyone is aware, we've had a number of outages due to the ice storm, and our crews have worked 16-hour shifts, which is the maximum allowed for safety purposes over the past several days in terrible weather conditions, trying to get people restored as quickly as possible. The employee, I'm not going to be able to go into any details about him. He is doing okay. We understand that it's a survivable accident, but it is a severe accident. But I don't want to get into any more further details except to say thank you very much for the prayers for him and his family. It is a very dangerous job. These linemen, there are many jobs actually in the city government that are dangerous. We have police officers, firefighters, linemen, public works employees, all sorts of employees who do very dangerous things on behalf of the community, and we do our best to implement safety practices to help them to be as safe as possible, but accidents do happen, and when they do, it's tough for us as a employee group to handle. So I actually don't know the young man that well, but you can tell I'm a little bit emotional about it because I hate to hear about any employee who has had an accident. But my understanding is that those that work closely with him are very devastated by what happened and that we're giving them a little bit of time to just kind of get their minds right, which has, as I hope the public understands, reduced our ability to do the job that still has to be done out there. But I do appreciate the prayers. I appreciate the patience of the public. I think for the most part, we do have a lot of people asking, and I understand being frustrated about power being out, but when you talk to them, they're understandable about the situation, and I do appreciate the patience of the people in the public who are patient with us as we work very quickly as we can and safely as we can to get power back up for folks. I also want to thank the 4 cities that have helped us from North Carolina. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there are at least 4 cities, in addition to our crews, helping us to restore power. That we have a mutual aid agreement where on some occasions when they have power outages, we can go help them. When we have lots of power outages, they can help us. So we've certainly engaged their help, and we appreciate that. They're here with us to do that work. My understanding is that we're down to scattered outages throughout the city and throughout mostly in the county, frankly. And these are these outages that are 1 or 2 houses on a street that occur. And so there's usually some very specific things that are happening that have to be addressed. And because they're so scattered, the crews don't really know what to expect when they get there. So they get there, they might find a broken pole, they might find a tree on a line, they might find who knows what else, but they have to go assess, kind of scout the line, figure out what's causing the problem, and it becomes very tedious work, and it takes a little longer. That power outages that affect larger areas where there's one big tree or something that's causing a large outage, they can do work on that, and they get a lot of people on at one time. But when they have these small, we call onesies and twosies, it just takes a little longer to get through them. I know it's difficult for people, especially when the weather is cold and rainy, but we are doing our best to get people's power back on. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for letting me explain that to you and to the public.
Well, thank you so much for what everybody's doing. Also, we talked about partnerships, and some of our community partners get the call that Metro by T-Mobile is putting people in hotels who don't have power. I think they've already put 3 families in hotels. So to all the citizens are feeding people who don't have power, people open up their doors for people who don't have power. I think collaboration and what everybody's doing together means a lot. And we're going to ask our community, because we have a great community, continue to keep this young man in your prayers. Deputy City Manager. City Attorney.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank Council tonight for your generosity and the confidence you've placed in me with tonight's action. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for all that you do. City Clerk.
Nothing, sir.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Yeah, last Thursday at Rotary in the morning with the impending storm coming, I reminded everybody they need to stay out of the ice. I'd remembered about 3 years ago, one of our city workers was killed during a storm. And it's very dangerous, as the city manager said. High voltages, limbs breaking, just wrecks can happen. Just in an instant, somebody can be injured, like what happened today. So our prayers are with him. It's dangerous work, and I know people are inconvenienced because they don't have power, but think about getting in this weather for 16 hours in this biting cold and trying to repair things until you're exhausted. It's just hard work. Thankfully, I heard a story today. One of my employees lives in the county, and the fire station out there had opened up for people to come take showers and charge their cell phones and so forth, and give them food. So that's truly a partnership, and we appreciate all those people that did that. And finally, maybe the light at the end of the tunnel. Cases, I heard in the news tonight, COVID cases are down in New York, they're down in Virginia, they're down in this community. Maybe we've turned the corner. But still, 4 people who'd had 2 vaccines, who were 2 weeks away from that, came down with COVID. I think it was in Nevada. So they were minor cases, mild cases, so it kept them from being hospitalized. But just because you've had the vaccines, and don't assume you're safe and can't spread the disease. So continue to wear your mask, social distance, and wash your hands. Thank you.
Mr. Saunders?
Special thanks to all of our city employees, especially those in public safety. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Vogler?
Yeah, if I could, just real quick, could we please give a round of applause for our linemen who've been out there working hard on this? As was mentioned, you know, we were reminded again today of just how dangerous it is, and they've been working nonstop around the clock for the past week, and can't thank them enough. I'm excited to see the bike share is back. Mark Aaron did a great interview earlier today. Those folks can check it out on River City TV. Bike share is back. Very excited about that. I know people were asking. And lastly, I just wanted to give a shout out. My son Kingston is here tonight, and he's looking down at the clock, telling me it's time to wrap it up. So I'm done for tonight, but I'm happy to have my son Kingston with me. Thank you.
Kingston, can you come every council meeting, please?
We have a round of applause for that.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whittle?
I'll make it easy. Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Buckner?
Yeah, just a couple of brief things. Thank you to all our linemen and all of our public works crews and everybody who was out in this stuff, man. There were crews from all over Virginia and North Carolina who worked around the clock to make sure that everyone was able to sleep at night a little bit better, and we thank them for that. Real quick, most of us in this room around this table know of a guy named Marcus Luck who's got a boxing gym up on North Main Street. Well, Marcus Luck has been training a young lady in Danville named Britton Hart, who won the bare knuckle boxing championship, world championship on the 5th. And we're real proud of her. She's in town today. I saw her. They actually FaceTimed me earlier because everybody's still social distancing. But we're proud of you, Marcus. We're proud of you, Britton. Congratulations on that win. Putting Danville on the map in many, many ways.
Thank you.
Reverend Campbell?
Nothing tonight, man.
Mr. Hood?
Yes, I just want to give a special thanks to Danville Utilities and Public Work for your diligence work, even in the weather, to restore power to residents, and special prayer to the utility lineman that was injured this morning restoring power. Our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Jones?
Mean adjourn.